Our next center to open is Collage Center. Let's get started looking at what is here. You have all different colors of A4 size paper. You have the warm colors, cool colors, and neutral colors. I want to show you what's over here in the corner. These are magazines you can flip through to find pictures to use for collage. These National Geographics are great. They have a bunch of different things you can use in your artwork. Inside the wooden containers, you have staplers, clear tape, left-handed scissors. If you write with your left hand, you should use one of these scissors. They will cut much better and fit your hand nicer. We have these tools. I'll demonstrate how to use those. We have paper tape or masking tape. And in the bottom here, we have a couple things. Double-sided tape. I'll show you how to use that. We also have containers of glue with some brushes. Let's take a look at how to use those as well. Down below, we have more kinds of tape. There's some clear Tessa tape here, and this tape is actually going to look brown. It will not come off clear, so just be aware of that. And we have some glue bottles. Let's take one of those. Over on this shelf, we have some very fun things. And I am going to have a rule about these. You may only take, per class period, one full sheet from here. At the top, you have glitter paper. Here is transparent colored paper. Here we have textured paper. And this is a special kind of material you can feel. It's very textured. We have warm colors, cool colors here, and neutral at the bottom. And on the shelf down here, we have our beautiful oopses. If you remember from last year, you can use these in your projects as well. Before I start any collage project, first I'm going to think about my idea, and I'm going to start planning what colors I need in my collage. Then, once I know what colors, for example, I'm thinking I will need yellow and green and maybe some brown. So yellow is going to be a warm color. First, I'm going to look here inside the warm, and I'm going to neatly kind of go through what paper is here. And oh, look, I found a yellow sheet of paper. I can use that. This is super important. You always need to look here first for the color or material you're looking for, and only if you cannot find it here, then you may go down here to the A4 size paper or the special paper over here. Use what's here first so we don't waste any materials. Here's what I'm going to pick up. On the back, it has this design or this layout. This means something special, and we'll talk about this. Because collage can be very messy, I have also placed some mats down here. If you do collage, you need to make sure you grab one of those, and that way you don't have to clean up as much at your table. So I am ready to begin demonstrating collage. First, I want to talk about this kind of paper. When you see this design, and it feels a little thicker, it is because these are basically giant stickers. You can peel this away, and the colored part is sticky, so you can use it, you don't have to use any glue with it, which is kind of nice. So keep that in mind. When you are looking through magazines, I recommend flipping through. I find something that catches my eye, and I'm going to cut it out. I don't know exactly what I'm going to use it for yet, but that's okay. Okay, I cut that out. Maybe I want this whole page. I can just take and tear it out. I can use that. And polar bear, I think I also want to use that. So I'm going to cut. And then I'm going to write. Say I want to make a circle out of this, or maybe I want to make a tree. Maybe these two pieces are going to turn into a tree. So, very important. Anytime you cut out of a paper, you need to move everything as close to the edge as possible. I'm going to sketch this first so I know what I'm doing. Here's what I want to cut out for my tree. Once I cut this out, at the very end, I can use all the rest of this paper. If I were to put this, for example, in the middle here, well then I'm left with a tiny side of paper here, tiny side here. It's wasteful. We don't want to waste materials. So always, 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 whatever you're cutting has to touch at least one edge. It should actually touch two edges. I want to cut out the tree from this brown paper. You don't always have to draw. On this paper you can draw on the back, but sometimes I just like to eyeball it. For example, I just kind of cut like this, and I'm not really following that first line I made. But notice, even when I eyeball, my shape is still touching two edges of the paper. Okay. I want a perfect circle cut out of here for the sun. Two ways you can do this. First, you can cut out a square, or as close to a square as possible, and you can just snip the corners. Squeaky scissors. I call it give the corners a haircut. Alright, there's a pretty good circle. You could also use this tool, which is going to give you a circle the size that it shows on here. I take my paper and I'm going to slide it in, and I can even turn it upside down and look, is the paper filling the whole way? If I cut it like this, I'm just going to get a half circle, which maybe I want to do. You see? Slide it out. Here's that half circle. Okay, maybe I use that. If I want the full circle, I really need to slide it all the way. And I even will test how close, it's like a game, how close can I get it to the edges? No? How close? Oh, I was pretty close. I could have gotten a little closer here and a little closer here, but it's okay. There's a perfect circle. Whenever I do collage, I always cut things out and I arrange them and think about them and move them around. I don't glue stuff down right away because I'm not exactly sure where I want everything. So first I just start by laying them out. Now I've arranged everything out. I like where it's at. I'm going to start gluing things down. I need to first glue down what is in the background. So for example, this green circle is going to be glued down first. I will just move the things away from that area because I want to remember where everything else is. A few different ways you can glue things down. One method I like to use is these glue containers. You need one of the brushes, not a paintbrush, it's a glue brush from the drawer. And I can paint the back of my object like so. And glue it down. All right, another thing we can do, I'm gonna glue this guy down, is you can use the glue bottle. You need to twist and pull up. Notice that little white circle disappears. Pull up. If you are trying to use your glue and nothing's coming out, you may have to pick at the top to get this little layer of glue to come off. Never, ever, 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 never cut the glue bottle. That will destroy it. This little thing is so important because it keeps air from, it keeps the air outside of the bottle. Nothing can get in because glue will dry if it touches air. So we want to keep that completely intact. When I use a glue bottle, I think dot, dot, not a lot. So I go dot, dot. I touch the glue bottle to the paper, and I only really go around the edges. You can see how much glue I've used here. Glue that down. Okay. So that's one method. Another method is to use this double-sided tape. How you use this is you can rip this tape just with your fingers, and it's very sticky, so you have been warned. I'm going to take a section, figure out how long I need it to be, and I'm going to put it down. I'm not going to take off the other side yet. I'll show you what I do. First, I put these two down, and then I take off that white protective layer, and now it's sticky. So I can put it on like a sticker. I don't like to use this so much, especially if I have curved objects, because there's so much that's not going to be held down, but it is useful in some projects. Let's take a look at this paper. Do you remember this was cut from here? This is pretty nice because I can peel off like so, and I can put down, oops, just like a sticker. Clean up is going to be so crucial, so important for collage. The first thing I need to do for cleanup is protect my artwork. Put my name on the back. And just like paint, this is wet. It has to dry, so I'm going to take it to the drying rack. When my art is protected, then if you're doing collage, I have some of these baskets at the center. These make cleanup a lot easier. I can put all of these little scraps in this basket, and I don't have to make so many trips to the recycling bin. Remember, we do not throw these away. There's a lot of material we can still use here, but we do not put it back in the baskets, warm, cool, and neutral baskets, until it is a perfect rectangle. We need to turn it into a rectangle no matter what you do. And your goal is to find the biggest rectangles possible. I see I can cut straight across here and straight here, and that will give me 2 big rectangles. So I'm gonna do that. I have 1 rectangle and 2 rectangles. This little scrap can go in the basket. I'm going to do that now with all of my materials. This rectangle is probably going to be too small. I'm just going to recycle that. This page that I took out of the magazine, but I never used it, I'm also going to turn that into a rectangle, and I'm going to match it as best I can to one of the color boxes. I see mostly green, so this can go into the cool colors. Really important, I need to push down and close the glue bottle. Make sure that little white part is sticking out. Okay, I have my colored papers. Scissors can go back here. This one, go back here. Ooh, I also have my magazine. I can put that right back in the pile here. Put my colored papers back. Sorting them. If I don't know which one they go into, look for a hint on the front or look at the colors you see inside. I am not putting the paintbrush away because we need to clean it first. Look how everything is nice and organized. Please keep it that way. Just makes everything easier to find. We'll come back to the paintbrush, put my mat back down here. Most of these can be recycled. Put it there. Then the basket I'm going to put right back here. Just like when you clean a paintbrush for paint, you need to turn the water on. And it's going to be extra important that you really get those bristles clean. And just like with the paintbrush, we do not leave it in the sink. Walk it back where you found it. Okay. And the very last thing I need to do, I need to wash my space. Clean up my spot, put my chair up, and bring the rag back to the sink.